Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Hi, Rob.
Hello, Sandra.
We're talking about the truth about energy and sports drinks.
Aren't they the same thing?
Good question. Are
yeah,
they?
I don't know. That's there's so many of those things nowadays. It's hard to keep up with what they are, what their intention is. Do they work? Are they healthy? All of the above.
Yeah. Well, energy drinks usually means caffeine.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, and sugar, like calories, but definitely energy is caffeine.
And coffee has kind of traditionally been the go-to for that for most people.
Exactly. Yeah, coffee and tea.
And then all the cold pop, like soda, like drinks, I guess, carbonated cold beverages came up, giving you the same effect. Is that kind of where they came from and why?
Right. Yeah, that good point. I mean, Mountain Dew, you wouldn't think has caffeine, but it does. And cola, a lot of the colas have caffeine. Don't
they all have caffeine? Or is it just the sugar that gives you the energy out of a soda? I didn't realize they had caffeine. I don't know. We need to talk.
Yeah.
You need to fill me in on your stack of notes there.
Well, because we weren't even going to talk about pop, actually, or soda pop. We were talking more about energy drinks and sports drinks and the difference there. So let me name a few and you can decide if it's an energy drink or a sports drink.
Okay.
All right. Gatorade.
That's a sports drink.
Okay. Red Bull.
I think it's marketed as a sports drink, but I think it's an energy drink.
Yes. Energy drink.
Despite the crazy athlete marketing kind of campaigns they have on social media.
I'm thinking Red Bull. What's that?
What? Sorry, isn't that what you just said? What did you just ask me? I thought you asked me about Red Bull.
Oh, did I? I thought I said Monster.
No, you said Red Bull. Okay.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, okay. Well, similar, right?
I don't think Monster to me is someone who wants to party all night long and is like the energy drink for the couch potato. Whereas Red Bull is, at least this is how their marketing appears to me. And Red Bull appears like their marketing is crazy. They've got like people doing crazy athletic things at extreme athletics, extreme sports, all that kind of stuff. Not couch potatoes.
Right. What about Rockstar?
No offense to the couch potatoes in the world. We all have our place, right? It's all good. Rockstar, same as Monster, I'd say. Kind of like I want to stay up all night and do my thing. Right.
Like gamers or people studying.
It's not like I want to like dive out of the side of a jet fighter with no parachute. That's more like a Red Bull thing.
Oh, interesting. Wow. This is a tangent I didn't expect to get on. But
well, you're talking to me, honey.
That's right. That's good. Okay. So yeah, energy drink usually means caffeine, whereas the sports drinks like Gatorade, as you mentioned, or Powerade or vitamin water don't have caffeine.
Right. Does Red Bull have, because Red Bull, I mean, it's an energy drink for sure. It's not like I said, just because they marketed it with sports and crazy extreme sports, I think it's still an energy drink.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It has the caffeine. And then sometimes they have other stimulating effects, other ingredients they add, like taurine or ginseng or B vitamins into the energy drink.
Yeah, to make you want to do crazy things, like jump out of airplanes or tightrope across the Grand Canyon.
Well, it's definitely good marketing and, some health halo aspects too.
Oh, for sure. I love the Red Bull ads. They're fun to watch. Seriously, yeah, they're super extreme, but they're definitely good. I don't drink Red Bull. Like it doesn't work, For me, the marketing, but I enjoy watching the videos.
They don't get your money.
No, exactly.
Because that's what they want, right?
Exactly.
That's what they all want. It's marketing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, sorry, did you say what the difference is? The energy drink has caffeine and the sports drink doesn't?
So, yeah, sports drinks are marketed as like faster hydration and rapid rehydration. They're more marketed towards athletes.
And is that accurate? Or is that more marketing again? Like, are they actually doing what they claim they're designed to do?
Good question. Well, sports drinks do have electrolytes added. So they have the sodium and potassium, magnesium to help prevent dehydration and muscle cramps. And they also have glucose, like some sort of sugar, like either fructose or glucose.
And that stuff is required after you've, like, I don't know, played a game. Like, I remember our son when he was in high school and he played basketball and he thought that he had to have a Gatorade after he finished. I'm like, pretty sure you don't have to have a Gatorade. I'm pretty sure water's fine.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, there's stuff in it that makes me better or whatever. Whatever.
Marketing,
It's total marketing. But
the friends like have that.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, I'm sure there's some benefits, but it's probably not required.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, if you're active for over an hour, then water is fine under an hour. You know, if you're active for, a typical like half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, water is great for hydration.
Right.
If you're doing more than that, then more than an hour, then yeah, you should replenish some of your fluid requirements and your electrolytes, but it doesn't need to be a sports drink. It could be fruits or food. Right. Do the same thing.
Like the bag of orange slices they have with soccer.
Right. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
absolutely.
Classic. I've never seen another sport that does that.
Yeah. So most people do get enough electrolytes from their food if they're eating kind of a well-balanced diet. So if you're exercising longer than an hour, then you should have something with electrolytes, and that could be any number of things. Like it could be fruit or soup. Like
would you have to eat a lot of fruit to get the amount that you need?
No.
Okay.
Not a lot. But the rehydration or the sports drinks can be used also if someone's sick and they have diarrhea or vomiting and they have to have a rehydration solution. And you can make one at home, like a homemade one with orange juice and some salt.
Right.
Then you're getting your electrolytes, you're getting your sodium and your potassium and your little bit of magnesium and sugar.
Right. So there's it's an easy way to get those things that your body might need at certain times.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, some of them also add like vitamin C or antioxidant infusion, as the label will say, but it's definitely marketing claims. It's another way to it's a health halo effect. And
it's like, ooh, that sounds healthy. I'm going to get this one.
Yeah. And really, just having some strawberries or eating some fruit will give you those vitamin C and antioxidant infusion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, both of them, like energy drinks and sports drinks, are unnecessary. Like, as you said about our son saying, I have to have this. I have to have a Gatorade after my game. No, you don't, actually. They didn't have them, 30 years ago. Yeah,
exactly. They're not part of our regular diet, our health requirements, our nutrient requirements, that sort of thing. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like coffee, which is kind of one of those recreational drinks we do because we enjoy it. But there are some health benefits to something like coffee. Not that we need that, but maybe there are more health benefits in something like coffee or tea, right?
Ooh, good question. Wow. Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to that episode we did on coffee a while ago, and because coffee is one of those things where it feels like a vice for some people, and they're like, oh, I got to stop drinking coffee, and they feel like it's a bad thing because it makes them feel good. But I think there's some benefits to coffee or to red wine or some of those other things we discussed that are similar as far as things people think they shouldn't be drinking.
Right. So I think it was episode 45, coffee, the ups and downs of that beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, it varies between individuals because some people genetically can clear coffee. They have this enzyme that helps them clear the caffeine out of their system. And same with in energy drinks. If you're having an energy drink with caffeine, you could clear it quickly and it won't affect your sleep. You know, you won't get insomnia. But some people are slow metabolizers. And so caffeine has a long half-life. And so if you have an energy drink, you know, after noon, you might still have it in your system by the time you go to sleep. Or if you're having it at night, if you're going out to a party, then yeah, it's gonna keep you alert. It's a stimulant. And especially if you genetically are a slow metabolizer, then it'll stay around in your system. And you have to think of all of the different things that you're eating and drinking that have caffeine. So if you have chocolate, if you have tea, coffee, energy drink, some medications have caffeine. So all of these different products will contribute to your caffeine load in your system. You know, if you're just thinking of the energy drink, typically energy drinks have about 50 milligrams of caffeine up to over 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is more than a cup of coffee, depending on the actual drink you're grabbing.
Right.
But a cup of coffee is usually under 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay.
It's like coffee's like 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine in 8 ounces. And a energy drink is about a 12-ounce can usually, and they can be 70 to 200 milligrams, maybe even over 300 milligrams, like the extra, like the
mega.
Yeah, exactly.
The mega energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, there could be negative effects like
I can't sleep.
Insomnia. Exactly.
Yeah.
What else?
You're super jittery. I've had those things before because I thought, you know, I need to stay awake. I'm going to try one of these things. I'm on a road trip or something. And yeah, they're super, they just make you like jittery as anything, like drinking a pot of coffee.
Right.
Not just a cup of, but a whole pot of coffee, and you're talking fast and your words aren't coming out right. And you're all just, you're all wigged out. And
yes.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. And some companies say that they have natural caffeine, like from a green tea source or yerba mate. And so they say healthy energy, which is interesting because actually there's no chemical difference, like the chemical structure of caffeine. There's no difference between natural or
like where it comes from.
Extracted in a lab. So,
yeah, marketing.
Yeah. So caffeine is caffeine, and if you're a slow metabolizer, it's going to stick around your system. Some people, there's a small part of the population that actually having caffeine can increase their risk of heart attack and cardiovascular problems. So if you're genetically susceptible, be careful of the energy drinks. Be careful of even drinking too much coffee or tea. Yeah. But everyone's different.
Yeah. And you were saying taurine there's something about taurine that's in a lot of the energy drinks. And that's something that has a similar like stimulant effect.
It's an amino acid. And yeah, I mean, it's thought to enhance the stimulating effects of caffeine.
Oh, it stimulates the caffeine.
It kind of amps it up.
Oh, crazy.
Possibly, but it's hard to know. And each one is different in the amount that is in there. Interesting.
Yeah, because I've never seen that anywhere else other than those. Like that's kind of second thing on the ingredient list on those kind of monster energy drink kind of drinks, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's just,
taurine, what is that?
It's interesting as time goes on, we're getting more and more like breaking down our food and like extracting things and adding them into different things. And it's just getting so far away from nature. And we did our episode about, the last episode we did was all about like how humans are kind of getting so far removed from nature, and
And from food sources.
Yeah, like just the natural food sources. And these are a good example, like energy drinks and sports drinks, of something manufactured, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So water's the best fluid, really.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there are health risks to energy drinks. I mentioned about the possible heart problems. It can be stimulating, like addictive, actually.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So if people are using them to stay awake, if they're maybe gaming at night, or if they're a student and they have to stay awake, or
oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, different professionals, they might be using them more on an ongoing basis, like chronically, and that can be addictive.
It's the same as coffee, like thinking that you need a cup of coffee to get through the day, or to get through the afternoon, or to get through the night to keep you awake. It's the same thing. It's just it's in a can.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, fine, if you're sipping on an energy drink in place of coffee or tea once in a while, it's probably no big deal. But if you are having your coffee and your tea and an energy drink, and maybe having chocolate or other foods or beverages with caffeine, then you're increasing that level of caffeine in your system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's just good to be aware of what you're putting in your body and the effects that these things have. And like we've always said, the health claims and the health halo, the marketing claims of some of these products that aren't really as healthy as they make them out to be. Yeah,
and 400 milligrams is kind of the acceptable amount in a day of caffeine. So up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is considered safe for most adults.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
But people might have a sensitivity to caffeine, and if they're bothered by anxiety or headaches or restlessness, then you might want to consider reducing your dose of caffeine and thinking of all the different places that caffeine might be in your daily intake of foods and fluids.
Mm-hmm. And if you like coffee, just do decaf or half and half, like when Sandra makes it, without me knowing. She'll do half and half, and I think I'm getting my big dose of coffee in the morning, but really it's just.
Well, you're getting your coffee, just not the caffeine.
And yeah, I don't really need the caffeine. I thought I was doing it for the caffeine, but I just like the coffee in the morning.
The taste.
Part of the routine and the tradition of it, and the taste, and yeah, I'm sure I get a little bit of a kick from the caffeine, but I don't necessarily need it. So.
And there's one thing we didn't talk about. Oh well, first of all, since we're talking about dose. With the energy drinks, they're not a great idea, or they're not recommended for pregnant women or kids because of the caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And pregnant women, it's like 200 milligrams is, you want to kind of have less than 200.
Not of the energy drink, but of if you're drinking coffee
in
or
total.
any kind of caffeine source.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But with all of these, they typically have sugar, like extra simple sugars. So they're not great if you're trying to be healthy or looking for weight-friendly
products, I guess.
If you're trying to lose weight, I wouldn't use energy drinks or sports drinks.
True. Yeah, because you're just getting that added sugar that...
Yeah, like 6.5 sugar cubes in 12 ounce.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Holy.
And it varies depending on which one, but that's like Gatorade, for instance, has like 21 grams of sugar in 12 ounces.
Wow, really?
So that's 6.5 sugar cubes.
Holy.
And the recommendation for women is 25 grams of sugar or less in the whole day.
Right.
So you're almost getting that amount in one Gatorade.
Right. Which you think is healthy. Not you, but what people think they're marketed as being healthy, and you're doing your sports and you got to have your Gatorade. And so, yeah, you don't think it's detrimental to your workout, but it totally is in a way.
Right. And then some people will get the artificial sweetened. So no sugar, but it's artificially sweetened. So it's still that heightened taste of sweet, and it tricks your brain. And we've talked about this before also, where typically if people have artificially sweetened beverages like soda pop or Gatorade or any of these drinks, that can lead to cravings and eating more sweets in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So bottom line, for energy drinks versus sports drinks, which one do you think is better?
Probably the sports drink, because I assume you've probably had a big workout, and maybe it's at least you had a workout. Where the energy drinks, you're probably feeling like a total slug because you haven't done anything and you need to drink something to make you get off the couch. So I'm guessing the sports drink is maybe going to have be a bit more beneficial to you.
That's hilarious. You're so funny.
I'm referring to myself because I've done both, and that's how I used them. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not trying to offend anyone out there and how you use your drinks, but that's when I used those, and I don't anymore. But yeah, when I did, that's when.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So the usage for the energy drink is for people that have low energy and they need to stay awake and they need to get alert. And so the caffeine kick helps.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the usage for the sports drinks are usually on hydration.
Replenishing, post-workout.
Exactly. So, yeah, they're...
But like we said, it's not a requirement.
No.
Post-workout.
No, exactly. You don't need to buy Gatorade. You don't need to buy sports drinks or energy drinks. And typically, like overall, water's the best fluid. So
yeah, there you go.
They're both not great, and it's a lot of marketing and a lot of the health halo kind of claims.
Exactly. So if you have any more questions about this kind of stuff, feel free to contact us through our website. It's mywifethedietitian.com. You can shoot us an email through there. It's mywifetherd@gmail.com. If you have other questions, feel free to drop those on us too. We love answering listeners' questions. And, there's so much misinformation out there. So many questions people have. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to help people understand things a bit better. And, happy to answer your questions. So don't be shy.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. You
can also reach out to us through our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you're more than welcome to leave a comment on those. It's super helpful for us to get that feedback as well. So, give us a like or leave us a question or a comment. They're all super helpful. And we also appreciate when you can share with a friend or a stranger or whoever. Just sharing, it gets it out there to other people, put it in other people's hands, and it keeps going around and around. And don't forget to rate and review the show too. That's also super helpful. There's usually a little rating system on most of the podcast players. So yeah, if you could do that, that would be amazing. And that is pretty much it for this week. We will be back next Monday with a full episode. So until then, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.